Dear students, in the last class we were studying the laws of chemical combination. So, what is the meaning of laws of chemical combination? Elements, formation of compounds by the combination of elements is governed by some laws, namely the laws of chemical combination. So, under this we have studied the law of conservation of mass, the law of definite proportion, the law of multiple proportion, Gay-Lussac law of combining volumes. So, today we will study Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law. So, this was stated by the scientist Avogadro. So, what the law says? Statement. Equal volumes of all gases, equal volumes of all gases at same temperature and pressure. At same temperature and pressure should contain equal number of molecules. So, equal volumes of all gases at same temperature and pressure should contain equal number of molecules. So, this is the statement of the law. So, I will explain how this law can be understood. So, let us consider this is gas 1 and similarly here is another gas, namely gas 2. So, this is gas 1, here is gas 2. Say for example, this is hydrogen gas and this one is oxygen gas, gas 1 and gas 2. The volumes of these two gases is V1 and volume of this gas is V2. Temperature of this gas is T1, temperature of this gas is T2, pressure of this gas is P1 and pressure of this gas is P2. So, if the volumes are same, that means if V1 is equal to V2, T1 is equal to T2, P1 is equal to P2, then the number of molecules in gas 1 is equal to the number of molecules in gas 2. So, here there are two gases, gas 1 and gas 2. The volume of gas 1 is equal to volume of gas 2. Temperature of gas 1 is equal to temperature of gas 2. If pressure of gas 1 is equal to pressure of gas 2, then N1 equals N2. What is N1? Number of molecules in gas 1 is equal to number of molecules in gas 2. N1 equals number of molecules in gas 1 and N2 is equal to number of molecules in gas 2. So, N1 equals number of molecules in gas 1, N2 is equal to number of molecules in gas 2. So, this is Avogadro's law. So, equal volumes of all gases, volume of gas 1 is equal to volume of gas 2, and if the temperature and pressure of gas 1 is equal to temperature and pressure of gas 2, then according to Avogadro's law, the number of molecules in gas 1 is equal to the number of molecules in gas 2. On the other hand, if there are 5 gases, V1, gas 1, gas 2, gas 3, gas 4, gas 5, if the volumes of all the gases are same, if the pressure of all the gases is same, temperature of all the gases is same, then the number of molecules in all the gases is also equal to same. So that is Avogadro's law. So example, let us consider two gases, gas 1 and gas 2. If the volume of gas 1 is equal to the volume of gas 2, that is V1 equals V2, then if P1 equals P2 and T1 equals T2, then number of molecules in gas 1, that is N1, is equal to number of molecules in gas 2, that is N1 equals N2, that is N1 equals N2. This is Avogadro's law. So that means equal volumes of all gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure should contain equal number of molecules. So these are all the 5 laws of chemical combination. So now we will study Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. So Dalton's in 1803 put forward his theory to explain the structure of, the regarding atoms. In 1803 he put forward his theory to explain the nature of atoms. So the postulates or assumptions of Dalton's atomic theory are number 1. So according to Dalton, suppose let us consider a matter. This is a matter. It may be a solid, or it may be a gas, or it may be a liquid. So according to Dalton's, the first postulate or the first assumption he made was all matter consists of indivisible particles called atoms. So suppose this is a matter, it consists of undividable or indivisible particles, these are the particles called atoms. So we call them as atoms. So this is a matter. According to Dalton's, the first assumption is a matter consists of indivisible, undividable particles called atoms. Number one, matter consists of indivisible, undividable. Matter consists of indivisible particles called atoms. Number two, all atoms of the same element, are identical. All atoms of the same element are identical in size, mass and in properties. So all atoms of the same element are identical in size, mass and in properties. But atoms of different elements are not identical in size, mass and properties. So what is the meaning of this one? So suppose let us consider two elements, namely here is one element, namely hydrogen. Here is another element, namely oxygen. So according to Dalton's, all atoms of hydrogen are identical in size, mass and in properties. All atoms of hydrogen are identical in size, mass and in properties. So here are the atoms of oxygen. So all atoms of oxygen are also identical. All atoms of oxygen are identical in size, mass and in properties. But suppose this is the atom of hydrogen and this is the atom of oxygen. But the atoms of hydrogen are different from the atoms of oxygen. So this is the second point. All atoms of the same element are identical. Whether it is maybe hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, etc. Atoms of all elements are identical in size, mass and in properties. But when you compare the atoms of one element to another element, they are different. That means atoms of one element is different from the atoms of another element in size, mass and in properties. So this is the second assumption or postulates. So in your examination you will be asked, write any 4 assumptions of Dalton's atomic theory. Third point, compounds are formed by the combination of atoms of elements, atoms of elements in a definite proportion by mass, definite proportion by mass. So say for example, compound, carbon dioxide is a compound, water is a compound, ammonia is a compound. So here these compounds are formed by the combination of atoms of these elements. Carbon dioxide is formed by the combination of atoms of carbon and atoms of oxygen. Water is formed by the combination of atoms of hydrogen, atoms of oxygen. Ammonia is formed by the combination of atoms of nitrogen and atoms of hydrogen. So these are the compounds. These are formed by the combination of atoms of elements. Atoms of elements in a definite proportion by mass. So here 12 gram of carbon combined with 32 gram of oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Here 2 gram of hydrogen combined with 16 gram of hydrogen, 14 gram of nitrogen combined with 3 gram of oxygen. So to form 44 gram of carbon dioxide, 18 gram of water and 17 gram of ammonia. So what is the third point? Compounds are formed by the combination of atoms of elements in a definite proportion by mass. So this is when compounds are formed, they are formed by the combination of atoms of element in a definite proportion. That means whatever may be the method of preparation of water, either you prepare in the laboratory or you obtained it from any natural source, it always contains the same elements combined together in a definite proportion by mass. So this is the third point. Fourth point, fourth postulate. During chemical reaction, combination of atoms takes place. So compounds are formed. A chemical reaction involves So what is the first point? Matter consists of indivisible particles called atoms. All atoms of the same element are identical, but atoms of different elements are not identical. Compounds are formed by the combination of atoms of elements in a definite proportion by mass. Fourth one, chemical reaction involves the rearrangement of atoms. Chemical reaction involves rearrangement of atoms. Say for example, what is the meaning of this one? Hydrogen combined with oxygen forming H2O. Hydrogen combined with oxygen forming H2O. So here there are atoms of hydrogen, atoms of oxygen. They will combine to form molecules of water. Here rearrangement of atoms takes place during a chemical reaction. Chemical reaction involves the rearrangement of atoms. Here hydrogen atoms combine with hydrogen atoms forming hydrogen molecule. Here oxygen atoms combine with oxygen atom form oxygen molecules. Here hydrogen atoms combine with oxygen atoms forming water molecule. So here the rearrangement of atoms takes place during a chemical reaction. That means chemical reaction involves the rearrangement of atoms. And fifth one, during a chemical reaction, no atoms are created or no atoms are destroyed. So here only the rearrangement of atoms takes place and there is no creation of new atoms or no destruction of atoms takes place. So chemical reaction during chemical reaction, atoms are neither during chemical reaction, atoms are neither be created nor destroyed. So these are the 5 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. So Dalton's atomic theory was put forward to explain the laws of chemical combination. According to this theory, the main postulates are: if you take any matter, it consists of indivisible particles called atoms. For example, if it is a piece of chalk, it consists of ultimate very small particles which cannot be divided are called atoms. Number 2, all atoms of the same element are identical in all respects, namely in size, mass and in properties. But atoms of different elements, when one atoms are compared with the atoms of other elements, they are different in size, mass and in chemical properties. And third one, compounds are formed by the combination of atoms. Compounds are formed by the combination of atoms of different elements in a definite proportion by mass. Next, chemical reaction involves, what happens during chemical reaction? Only rearrangement of atoms takes place. So atoms are arranged in one type in reactants and atoms are arranged in different types in products. So during chemical reaction, the rearrangement of atoms takes place and nothing else, according to Dalton's atomic theory. And lastly, during chemical reaction, what happens? Atoms neither be created nor be destroyed, but they are arranged from one form to another forms. So that is all about the Dalton's atomic theory. So in the lastly, write a note. Dalton's atomic theory explains the laws of chemical combination. Explains the law of chemical combination. That means it explains the law of conservation of mass. That means atoms neither be created nor be destroyed. Total mass of the reactants is equal to total mass of products. So matter changes from one form to another form during a chemical reaction. All these are law of conservation of mass. Law of definite proportion, it explains. Whatever may the method of preparation of a compound, it always contains the same elements combined together in a definite proportion by mass. Here also we told that compounds are formed by the combination of atoms of elements in a definite proportion by mass. So all these are the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. So now we will know some drawbacks or limitations of Dalton's atomic theory. Drawbacks or limitations of Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. So there are some limitations or drawbacks in Dalton's atomic theory. So what is the first limitation? So according to Dalton's atomic theory, atoms are indivisible. That means atoms cannot be divided further. But after the discovery of protons, neutrons and electrons, so until Dalton's atomic theory, atoms are indivisible. They cannot be divided further. But we have discovered protons, neutrons and electrons. So these are protons, neutrons, electrons are called subatomic particles. Subatomic particles. So that means atoms can further be divided into protons, neutrons and electrons. That means atoms, in an atom there are protons, neutrons and electrons. So is first statement, that means atoms are indivisible, vanishes after the discovery of protons, neutrons and electrons. So write down that this first one, the discovery of protons, neutrons and electrons proved that atoms are divisible. Atoms are divisible. Number 2, according to Dalton's atomic theory, atoms of elements are different from each other. Atoms of different elements are different from each other, but he cannot explain why the atoms of different elements are different. So this theory cannot explain why the atoms of different elements are different. He cannot explain, the theory cannot explain why the atoms of different elements are different with each other. So he told that atoms of hydrogen are different from atoms of oxygen. Atoms of hydrogen is small, atoms of oxygen is big. So, but he cannot explain why hydrogen atoms is small and why oxygen atoms are big. Why the mass of hydrogen is less, why the mass of oxygen is more. So, he tell only that the atoms of different elements are different, but he cannot explain why the atoms of different elements are different. Third one, the discovery of isotopes and isobars. The discovery of isotopes. What are isotopes? Isotopes are the atoms of the same element. Atoms of the same element having same atomic number but different mass number. Atoms of the same element having same atomic number but different mass number. Example, carbon atomic number is 6 and its isotopes are 13, 14 and 12. C6, 12. So carbon can exist in 3 forms. So there are different types of carbon within the same element. These carbon atoms have same atomic number, that means same number of protons but different numbers of protons and neutrons, their mass number. So this is called mass number. Mass number equals protons plus neutron, and this one is atomic number. So number of protons, it is also equal to number of protons or electrons. So atoms having the same atomic number but different mass numbers are called isotopes. That means atoms of the same element have different mass numbers. So but according to Dalton's atomic theory, all atoms of the same element are identical, but we have discovered isotopes. Atoms of the same element are different in masses. Such atoms of the same elements are called isotopes. And also isobars. Atoms of different elements. Having same mass number but different atomic numbers. Say for example, N7 carbon 6. So this is N13 carbon 13. N13 carbon 13. They have same mass number but different atomic numbers. Such species are called isobars. So isobars and isotopes. Isotopes are the atoms of the same element having same atomic number but different mass numbers. So these we will study in detail in later classes. Isobars are the atoms of different elements having different atomic number but same mass number. What this shows? So these are contradictory to Dalton's one of the postulates. So according to one of the postulates, atoms of the same element are identical in all respect, but atoms of different elements are different. But we have showed that atoms of the same element may have different mass numbers. Atoms of different elements may have same mass numbers. So the discovery of isotopes and isobars shows that proved that atoms of the same element or atoms of the same elements may have different masses, and atoms of different elements may have same masses. So this is the contradictory to his statements. So these are some of the drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory. So according to one of the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory, atoms are indivisible, but after the discovery of protons, neutrons and electrons, we show that atoms can be divided further into protons, neutrons and electrons. They are called subatomic particles. Number 2, according to this theory cannot explain why. So according to Dalton's atomic theory, atoms of different elements are different in size, mass and properties, but he cannot explain why they are different. And third one, so according to Dalton's atomic theory, atoms of the same elements have same masses, atoms of different elements have different masses, but after the discovery of isotopes and isobars, we can show that atoms of the same elements may have different masses, and also atoms of different elements may have same masses. Atoms of different elements may have same masses. So these are the drawbacks or limitations of Dalton's atomic theory. So now we will know something about the definitions of atoms and molecules. Atoms and molecules. So first we will know what is an atom. What is an atom? An atom is the smallest particle of an element which may have free existence or not. Atoms are the smallest particle of an element which may or may not have free existence. An atom is the smallest particle of an element. An atom is the smallest particle of an element which may or may not have free existence or independent existence. So what is the meaning of this one? So an atom is the small, an element. So in pure compounds there are two types. One is an element, another one is compound. What is an element? An element is a pure substance consisting of only one type of atoms. An element is a pure substance containing only one type of atoms. So we have so many elements and we have arranged all the elements in the periodic table. Some are natural and some are artificial. Then what is an atom? An atom is the smallest particle of an element. An atom is the smallest particle of an element. It may have or may not have free existence. Free existence. Say for example, atom of hydrogen. An atom of hydrogen, it is represented as H. Atom of oxygen, O. Atom of chlorine, Cl, etc. So these atoms do not exist freely. Atoms do not exist independently or freely. So these atoms, hydrogen atom, we cannot find hydrogen atom, single hydrogen atom. We cannot find single oxygen atom. We cannot find single chlorine atom. So these are the atoms of the elements which do not have independent existence. So if you, what is the meaning of hydrogen atom? Combined with another nitrogen atom forming hydrogen molecule. Oxygen atom combined with another oxygen atom forming hydrogen oxygen molecule. Similarly, chlorine molecule, etc. So next, atom of sodium. Atom of sodium. Atom of magnesium, Mg. Atom of gold, namely Au. So these atoms have independent existence. They have independent existence or free existence. So I think now you understand the meaning of atoms. Atoms are the smallest particle of an element. It may exist freely or may not exist freely. In some elements they exist freely or independently. In some elements they do not exist freely or we cannot find independent atoms in hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, nitrogen, etc. So here they will the atoms combine, either 2 atoms or 3 atoms or 4 atoms combine to form a molecule. So this is the meaning of an atom. And then we will know what is a molecule. What is a molecule? What is a molecule? What is a molecule? A molecule is the smallest particle of an element. Smallest particle of an element or a compound. Smallest particle of an element or a compound, which can have free existence. So a molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound which can have free existence or independent existence. Example, molecule of hydrogen. So these are the molecules of elements. Molecules of elements. Molecule of hydrogen, molecule of oxygen, molecule of oxygen, molecule of chlorine, Cl2. So these are the molecules of elements which can have free existence. We will find hydrogen molecules, oxygen molecules, chlorine molecules, etc. So coming to molecules of compounds. Molecules of compounds. Coming to the molecules of compounds. Molecule of water, H2O. Molecule of carbon dioxide, CO2. Molecule of ammonia, NH3. These are the molecules of compounds. These are etc. These are the molecules of elements, etc. So what are molecules? Molecules are the smallest particle of an element or a compound having free existence. Molecules are the smallest particle of an element or a compound having free existence. That means they exist freely. Atoms are the smallest particle of only elements. They may or may not have free existence. So the atoms which may have free existence, sodium, magnesium, and all atoms of noble gases. Namely helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, etc. are the atoms of noble gases which can have free existence. So these are the atoms of some of the elements which do not have free existence. So it is a molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound which are free existence. Next line. So in continuation of the molecules, write down 2 or more atoms of same element or different element. Same or different elements. 2 or more atoms of same or different elements combine to form molecules. 2 or more atoms of same element or different elements combine to form molecules. So this is about atoms and molecules. Next we will know what is atomicity. What is atomicity? ATOMICITY. What is atomicity? So what is atomicity? The number of atoms constituting a molecule is called atomicity. Number of atoms constituting a molecule is called atomicity. If a molecule contains only one atom, it is called monoatomic molecule. If a molecule consists of 2 atoms, it is called diatomic molecules. 3 triatomic, 4 tetraatomic, 6 hexaatomic molecules. And what is atomicity? The number of atoms constituting a molecule, number of atoms constituting a molecule, or a molecule, the number of atoms constituting a molecule, or the number of atoms present in one molecule of a compound or a substance. Number of atoms present in one molecule of a substance, whether it may be an element or a compound, is called atomicity. Number of atoms constituting a molecule is called atomicity. Next line. If a molecule contains only one atom, it is called a monoatomic molecule. If a molecule contains only one atom, it is called monoatomic molecule. Example, noble gases form monoatomic molecules, that is helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. In all these molecules, there are only one atom, therefore they are called as monoatomic molecules. And then diatomic molecules. Number 2, diatomic molecules. Molecules containing two atoms are called diatomic molecules. Example, hydrogen molecule is a diatomic molecule, oxygen molecule, nitrogen molecule, chlorine molecule, etc. are diatomic molecules. Third one, triatomic molecules. Molecules containing three atoms. Example, O3. This one is ozone, is a triatomic molecules. Fourth one, tetraatomic molecules. Molecules containing four atoms. Example, P4. So phosphorus form tetraatomic molecule. Fifth one, octaatomic molecules. Molecule containing 8 atoms. Example, S8. This is sulfur molecule, contains 8 atoms of sulfur, therefore it is octaatomic molecules. So this is about atoms Molecules, atomicity. What are atoms? Atoms are the smallest particle of an element. They may or may not have free existence. Then what are molecules? Molecules are the smallest particle of an element or a compound which have free existence. They have independent existence. Two or more atoms of same element or different elements form molecules. Then what is atomicity? Number of atoms present in one molecule of an element or a compound form atomicity. So example, so this is monoatomic, this is diatomic. Similarly, HCl is a diatomic molecule. NaCl is a diatomic molecule. KCl is a diatomic molecule. O3, ozone, H2O, CO2, etc. So 2 plus 1, 3 atoms, 1 plus 2, 3 atoms, etc. Similarly, H3PO4, so 4 atoms in a molecule, P4, and then SO3, sulfur trioxide, NH3, ammonia. So 3 plus 1, 4, NH3, 4, etc., 8, etc. So this is about today's topic. So we have studied Avogadro's law, Dalton's atomic theory or postulates, what are the drawbacks or weakness of Dalton's atomic theory, and then we will know what is atom, what is a molecule, what is atomicity, and examples. So this is enough for today. I will continue tomorrow.